We in this bitch.
604 podcast, my friend.
Yes, sir.
And today we have Mr.
LOVEM. Love him.
Cool, man. So, what are you, man? Like, are you a producer? Are you a singer? You're an artist, that's for sure.
Creative, man. Creative. But mainly like music, production, mixing and mastering. I dropped an album a little bit ago. And that was cool. But creative, man. I think like I once I learned the music, I learned that creativity goes outside the music. You know what I'm saying? If you know what looks good and what feels good, and you can translate images into emotion, you can do anything, right?
So how do you translate, let's say if an artist want to create a music, how do you do that, and how do you understand your artist? Is that
so
a
in like a
feeling?
session setting, like you got a new artist
Yeah.
coming in. So when you're trying to work with that, it depends on like first of all like what they're making, what they're feeling, and the level of quality that they can actually provide, right?
Yeah.
Because very few people can actually do something good, right? The music industry is saturated, but once you get into it, you realize that 99% of the people are actually trash,
Yeah.
and the 1% are the actual people competing, right? So from the outside, you're like, holy fuck, like everybody's doing this. But it's like realistically, 1 out of 10 people are really, really doing it. You know, the other people are just there throwing money around trying to do something, but they're not competitive, right?
Yeah.
And so I learned that it's not actually saturated. You just have to be good at what you're doing to actually achieve. Like everything, all the opportunity is very available to you. You just have to be able to provide a quality product. And so when it comes to working with artists, again, it depends on like how good they realistically are, because you got to be realistic.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And it's like it's translating idea into a product, and then what does that product make you feel, right? Because that's music, it's emotion. And my whole business as of right now is how do I make you feel something in whatever angle of genre of music that is. How do I do something that makes you feel a certain type of way? I fell in love with music because I was listening to Travis Scott and stuff, and it was just like nothing compared to other music. Like the production he had was just like, I was like, what the fuck? It made me feel
Like instantly,
something.
when you heard Travis Scott, you just like, okay.
I was like,
there's
what the fuck is this? Right? It made me feel something. Other music is just like, oh, this is hard.
Yeah.
But you put like 90210,
Yeah.
it's like, bro, this is completely different. This is a different animal of music.
So you had a different feeling when you heard him.
Yeah, and so I got into music. The first period is understanding the basics, right? Understanding how to actually do something. Once you get to that level, it's okay, how do I formulate my own sound? And most importantly, how do I actually make somebody feel something about this? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because that's what impacts, right? You see art is meaningless if you don't feel anything when
True.
you see it, right? And so it's all emotion. It's the psychology and language of emotion, and how you can take that and guide it and tell it what to do. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So
when
I'm
you
sure
have
you
a
understand
client,
as well.
100%. Like whenever I have a client, I would say it's 95% is psychology. 95% of it, when a client come over, it's capturing emotion.
Emotion, yes.
It's nothing to do really for me with that, oh, this bar was sick, or the guy, he know his lyrics, he have his music, we can do it for like, like an hour. I'm just like, bro, I'm not feeling it.
You don't feel anything.
Yeah.
Right? Because not anybody can achieve that emotion. You do have to be at a certain standard of talent, realistically. You know what I'm saying? You have to understand the rules to then manipulate the rules. You know what I'm saying? You have to learn to understand that everything you learn means nothing. It's the way you go about doing it.
Yeah. So who are your artists where it's moving you? Like when you listen to them, you're just like, oh, fuck, this is a different level. Who are your influences?
Like
give me 1 second, bro. This bass is fucked up.
Too Young's going crazy.
Yeah, bro. Let me take some quickly. Bro, you're busy recording podcast things.
But it's
I'm
like
sorry. Yeah, I was saying it's okay. We'll cut it. Okay. So
Yeah, like I said, like Travis Scott was the first one that really got me thinking about music.
How long ago then?
Like 4 or 5 years ago.
Okay, and before that?
Before that, bro, before that, I didn't even like. I wasn't even involved with music. I was just doing the piano and stuff.
Okay, so you were involved in music then?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I was doing the piano, but it was like, while I was learning it, it was very heavily involved with my dad, and my dad is a very, very like strict, get it done person, right? And he doesn't play around. You know what I'm saying? So if I didn't want to put an hour into music, he would grab me and sit me down. He's like, you're gonna fucking do this, whether you like it or not. You can cry here for the whole hour, but you're going to do this.
Is it Chinese or what?
No, we're Cuban. We're Cuban. But yeah, tiger parent.
This is like this is like typical, you know.
Yeah.
You're gonna play the piano.
He's very traditional in that sense. Yeah, but no, because my mom was part of the International Choir of Cuba, and my dad was associated with that. But he was also like he's an incredible what's it called? He can compose really good music, right? He can play by ear. If you show him something, he'll play it out. He's amazing on the piano, and so he wanted me to do that, but the way he was going about it, I didn't like it. It wasn't fun to me, so I didn't want to do it. But I did at the end of the day, after all that bullshit, learn the piano. Yeah. And then after I got out of it, since I was very young, I knew I was gonna be a DJ. I didn't even know what a DJ was.
Oh yeah.
I didn't even know what that meant. I was like, I'm gonna be a DJ. I don't know. Fuck it.
Yeah.
Right. And I was beatboxing with my friends and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I didn't even know about music production. And so it was like that from a young age, and then I let go of the piano, and then I kind of just went for a couple years without really doing anything. And then during COVID, it kept popping in my head like music production, learn the DAW, and I was lazy. I didn't want to fucking do that. I didn't want to sit down and learn this bullshit. Right? I'd open the DAW and it looked insane. I was like, fuck this. This is too complicated. Mm-hmm. I didn't want to do it, but it was persistent. It kept coming into my head. I said, fuck it. I need to do something. I'm going crazy here. I'm not seeing my friends for months. I might as well learn this. Mm-hmm. I learned it, and then from then on, we just went crazy.
Just by yourself? Like
I just sat down. Yeah. Oh. Yeah, I know. I sat down and I learned it, bro, and it's changed my life. You know what I'm saying? Everything in my life changed from that point when I decided to like, okay, we're gonna do this. Fuck it. There's nothing else for me to do, right? I didn't have any other skills. Yeah. I was terrible at math. I hated school. I never enjoyed sitting down at school. You know what I'm saying? I could sit down, but I didn't have fun doing it.
But you still like now when you're doing music, you're still sitting down though.
Yeah, but it's a hyper focus. When I sit down, I'm doing what I love. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. You do what you love. Like
yeah, if you sit me down with math, it's like, fuck that. But if it's music, I'll sit down for however long you need me to do something, you know? But
if you have to redo something when you're younger, what would you do differently?
Get to the music sooner.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Sooner?
Yeah.
What about piano then? You didn't talk about piano. Like, so you were pretty good at piano, I guess?
Yeah, I was going to the top school here in West Vancouver.
Okay.
I forgot the academy name. Okay. But no, they spent a lot of money for me to learn the piano, right? But it's just not what I enjoyed. It's just really not what I enjoyed. And my mom was a lot softer, so she just kind of let me fall off of that horse.
Okay.
But it was music nonetheless. It just wasn't the piano, but it was still music.
Okay.
And so I did the production and I learned how to do it, and then I fell in love with it. I got obsessed with it. Show my friends all the terrible beats that I made, all the terrible songs that I made, and they're like, "This is fucking ass."
So which DAW are you using? FL Studio. FL. Okay.
Yeah.
Why did you choose FL over, let's say, Pro Tools or Cubase or whatsoever?
I didn't even know this existed, number one. Mm-hmm. But I was on Cakewalk first.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and I was doing Cakewalk. I learned it a little bit. I was making beats on there. But all the tutorials that I went, there's one person making tutorials on Cakewalk. Mm-hmm. And I would search up how to put an 808 down, and it'd always be FL.
Okay.
So I'm like, okay, clearly this is the biggest one. Let me get on this because it's going to open up all these other tutorials for me. Right? Because the learning curve was so small with Cakewalk. I couldn't learn anything on Cakewalk. There was one person making tutorials. Right? So it was literally whenever he dropped, I get to learn something new.
Okay.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And so it was like, okay, like I need to learn more and I need to learn faster. So I'm going to switch to FL. But FL, coincidentally, the way it's made it's so easy to understand. Mm-hmm. And so I picked it up immediately. Right, because it just made sense to me, and so, but it's also so fun. I'd never go back to Cakewalk, you know. But yeah.
So where did you go from like piano to FL, and then from FL now you have a studio.
Yeah, so I had the studio in my basement.
Okay.
Right, I put my bedroom down there, and I put the studio down there, and it started with like, I remember walking to my friend's house, and I saw a dinner table on the corner of the road,
Yeah.
and I don't know what came onto me. I was like, "Yo, we're picking this up and we're taking it to your house, and we're gonna go to Walmart and we're gonna spray paint it." So we took all, it's four of us holding the legs and the
Are you
table,
serious?
big ass dinner table, right? Wood, huge table. It's in the studio right now.
Shit.
We carried it, we spray painted it, and then we finished, and it was like, dude, I don't have a truck, I can't drive. How the fuck am I getting this home? And then his dad was
Oh.
like, I'll take it home. And so we took it home, we built it, and then it started off laptop table, no interface, USB mic. And then we got the interface, and then we got the mic, and then we got speakers, small shitty speakers, and then the speakers upgraded, and then it just kept going until
So there
it
was
was
how,
looking
how,
pretty
how many
good.
people?
Like, what do you mean?
Like how many people? It was just yourself or
It's just myself, bro.
just by yourself?
It's just me.
Oh shit.
Yeah, no, I was just doing this by myself, man. I loved it. I loved it.
Fuck. Okay.
And so I'm in high school at this point, building up the studio in my house, and I meet Zoltan, and he's like, "Yo, like I write music here and there." He was like he writes his songs in the comments on YouTube. So
Okay.
if you go on a tight beat and you go into the comments,
Yeah,
there'll
yeah.
be like chorus, verse 2, outro. He wrote the comment down, the whole song.
Okay. Okay.
And he was like, "Yo, like I write these songs." I'm like, "Okay, like let's go record, right?" And we recorded a song called Purple Cup, and we finished
Cup?
it. Yeah,
That was the very first one.
that was the very first song we did, and we put it out. Everybody at the school loved it, and we became like mini.
You played it at school?
Yeah, we became like mini celebrities
Shit.
at school,
No way.
and it was cool, man.
Yeah.
It was fun. But I mean, that song sucks now. You know what I'm saying? But at that point in time, it was like, this is so fun. This is great. You know,
Yeah,
it was
yeah.
just fun to do,
Mhm.
and we kept recording. And then we go like a couple years just in my basement, and then I'm trying to get clients in, but like the neighbors are always complaining of the loud music from the speakers.
Because where were you? Like
I live in a complex. That's right. So the houses are all together,
Oh shit. Okay.
and it's drywall, right?
So they keep knocking
Yeah,
at the door.
they,
It's like
they kept
basically being here.
calling my mom or something, texting her, "Yo, shut the fuck up, I'm trying to sleep."
Where are you? Were you working on monitors or?
Monitors, but
I
also
guess?
speakers, right? Because I didn't want to wear
Okay.
headphones all the time.
Okay.
But yeah, they would complain, and I was like, okay, it was getting too much, and so I was like, hey guys, like we got to find a spot where we can have freedom. We can be here whenever we want. And at this point, it's not just me and Zoltan, but it's my boy Eric and my boy Connor.
Yeah.
And we're collectively making music. And so
So how did you meet them then?
I met Eric at a house party. I met Connor through another producer, and we just started working because we just fucked with each other. I fucked with the sound,
Mhm.
and so I have these 4 artists, and I'm the producer. I'm producing all these other music for these 3 guys, right? And I'm like, you know what? Like, I want something more. I want to, because I know money from music doesn't come for a long time,
Mhm.
right? You need 1,000,000 streams to break $1,000,
Mhm.
right? So we're not making money off this for a long time. And so I said, like, yo guys, we need to do something that people are gonna like, that will turn into money that we can put back into the business,
Yeah.
and buy better equipment and keep doing this.
Mhm.
And so I came up with Evangelic,
Mhm.
and
Which is your
which is
brand?
the brand here, and they all liked it. And Zoltan didn't like it at first. At first he was like, "Nah,
So
I don't want to do this."
who had the first idea of having Evangelic, that name?
Me,
Where's that come from?
I created the name after some brainstorming. I created the name, and then I was like, okay, like we're gonna do hoodies, and then I made a bunch of mock-ups for the hoodies that were terrible.
Can you talk about that a little bit? Like, what is it exactly?
So Evangelic, the meaning is the good news,
Mhm.
or the good word of God. And I'm a very religious person,
Mhm.
right? I've been religious for 2-3 years now.
Okay.
Right? I used to be very, very what's the word? Atheist. I
Okay.
didn't believe in a higher power.
Okay.
And in that period of my life, it was very ego. It was just like, it wasn't. I wasn't as happy as I was now. You know, it was very like life was meaningless. This is all chance
Mhm.
type of ideology,
Mhm.
right? And I lived with that for the majority of my life. I would go to camp as a kid. Timberland Ranch is a Christian camp, and I wasn't religious, and I would spend like 2 hours debating the counselors, because to be a counselor you had to be religious.
Oh,
And so I'd be debating them on the existence of God,
okay, okay.
and I would win these arguments because I was so good at talking. I wasn't right.
Yeah.
At the end of the day I did convert,
Okay.
but I was so good at talking and maneuvering and weaseling and so good with my
Yeah.
words that even though I was wrong, I would still win these arguments.
And do you think that's why you say like that was ego? You think that was
it was ego. I wanted to win these arguments.
Yeah.
I wanted to be the smartest person, right? But funny enough, the universe says, sit the fuck down, you're stupid.
Mm-hmm.
Chill out. You don't know anything.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And through some life experience and scenarios, I eventually accepted that idea was just like, it made no sense to me. I let go of that idea and I realized that there is a higher power, at least for me, you know. And but that's beside the point. I wanted to make the brand like it's like streetwear, if you want to call it. But I wanted to make something that streetwear, like like it's not designer. It's it's not high fashion. It's like, you know, like high beast type of shit. Yeah. But it's not really high beast. I don't really call it that. It's just like, if you don't know, you kind of would just put it in the circle. Mm-hmm. But I wanted to create something that people from any age category can afford. You know, even if you don't have a job, you can still afford it. Because I remember as being young and seeing all these people with cool clothes, and it's just like, I couldn't afford none of this shit.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And so I was like, how can I make something that's so cool, that's so sick, that people want to be a part of it, and when they find out the price, they can be a part of it. Mm-hmm. And so the first hoodie was $80, and it wasn't as good as this. But then we tried again, and now this one is $65. So we did a huge price cut, right? And we're still making profits, but it still allows for people to get it, because no hoodie is $65 anymore. You know, you get a blank Carhartt hoodie for $120. True. Which is ridiculous.
But who's doing the design then?
I made the design.
Oh, so but who's drawing it?
I did all the designs. Oh shit! Yeah. On Canva.
Yeah.
Right. This circles back to creativity and knowing what you're doing even outside of music. Mm-hmm. Right? Because I'm going into this hoodie designing it. I don't know how to use Photoshop. I don't know anything about digital design. I don't know anything about this. I don't know Adobe. I don't know none of this bullshit. You know? And so I'm like, I'm in a scenario where I have to make something that can compete with the world of fashion, but is still in my skill levels to be able to do it.
Yeah.
And so it came down to, what is visually appealing?
Yeah.
How can I make it visually appealing? How can I change it into my own thing? And how can I sell that? Because I saw a lot of brands around, you know, a lot of people want to do brands. You know, there was like this huge spike in streetwear brands where everybody was fucking making hoodies. Everybody was making all this bullshit. And I came up on at the same time. But everybody who was making hoodies were terrible, bro.
Yeah, you didn't like
it was just ass. Yeah. It was like, it was like a copy and paste. I knew, like, I saw one hoodie with a globe on it. I'm like, bro, I know exactly where you got this image from. I've seen it with my own eyes where you got it from. You did nothing to this. There's no creativity behind this, right? And to me, that's not fair. I'm not going to put a $65, $80 price tag on something that I just fucking got from whatever. Mm-hmm. You know? So it came down to, how can I make something that can actually legitimately compete with people who know Adobe, who know digital design, who've been doing this way longer than I have. And then we have this.
Sorry?
And then this is the product.
Yeah.
After all that, this is what I've been able to make, you know?
Because it's a mix between, like, I feel like it's a mix between Scream, you know, the movie.
Yeah, the face?
Scream, and then Mayors at the same time.
Yeah.
And then it's art at the same time. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's all together in the 80s. I don't know why I feel like 85.
So like the idea for this hoodie was, how simple can I make it, but with the most effect? Right? I don't want to fill it with a bunch of bullshit. How I wanted to make it so bare bones, but still so competitive. You know? And I think I did a pretty all right job. I tell everybody this hoodie has supernatural properties, man, because I've never bought a piece of clothing where people stop me on the street and ask me where I got this hoodie.
Right. I think I asked you.
Yeah, it's like every week somebody stops me. We were walking down this road to the pizza factory to go eat.
Yeah.
And these old ladies, they have nothing to do with this shit. They're like, "Whoa, I like the hoodies. Where do you got them?" And I'm like, "Oh shit!" Like, and it happens so consistently. So whenever somebody buys a hoodie, it's like I tell them like, "Yo, warning, you're going to be stopped on the street," because it's like everybody that grabs one tells me when they see me, I've been stopped at least 2 times for this
Right.
hoodie.
Yeah, yeah.
And so it's like I've never bought anything that does that. Most people I don't think bought anything that does that.
Yeah.
And so it just blew my mind. It's like, bro, I made this on Canva. I have
Yeah.
no degree. I have no experience doing this.
But it's a feeling at the same time, right?
Full circle.
Wait 1 second. Let me text Frankie quickly to ask his tenant to lower the
I
bass.
can call him.
Sorry?
I can call him.
No, I don't want to bother him because I don't want to talk to him directly because Frankie is the guy who's managing him. So let me, because I already texted him,
Yeah.
but he don't realize because
He's in it.
the mood. Yeah,
Yeah.
of course. Because he's the tenant of Frankie, so I have to respect Frankie. Bro, can you ask your tenant the bass, please? We are recording podcast. Yes. Excuse me. That's always good because the thing is like I texted him already, but Frankie he's the boss.
Yeah, I
You
mean,
know
but
what I
we're
mean?
cool with him. I mean, I'm cool with him, so I could just call him and tell him, "Yo, just turn
Yeah,
it down
but
a
same
little bit."
thing.
Yeah.
I talked. I'm cool with him too, but by respect for Frankie, I'm just
Yeah,
like,
no, I
you know what I
understand where
mean.
you're coming
Like,
from, yeah.
he has to be the guy in charge. Yeah.
But
Otherwise,
anyways,
it would be like, why the fuck you didn't ask me?
Yeah.
You know.
what
Okay, sorry.
are we talking about?
So we were talking about like, yeah, you're gonna be like stopped, basically.
Yeah. So I don't know. The conclusion is that I've never had a piece of clothing that like has such an effect on other people that they decide I'm gonna stop this person to figure out where they got this.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
So you're doing clothing, you're doing music.
Yeah.
What about a piano as well?
Piano, I don't really do the piano anymore.
Not
I'll play the
anymore?
keys. I still have that in my hands where I can still play the keys and I know what's good. But classically trained, I let go of that a long time
Okay,
ago.
okay. So now it's like strictly
Strictly
creating
music
beats?
production. Yeah.
Do you sing as well or no?
Yeah, I rapped a little bit. Like I did again, like I did a project a while ago, but it was to show my other friends, right, Zoltan, Eric, Connor. It was to show them that it doesn't matter what's going on in your life. If I'm able to come out with a 12-track album that I self-produced and mixed, you have no excuse with releasing music.
Right.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Because they're always like, oh, blah, 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 I need promo. And I was like, no, buddy, I did a 12-track album by myself. You have no excuse.
Right.
You need to drop music. Don't bullshit me.
Yeah.
If I'm able to do it, you can do it.
So how do you put yourself in the mood? Like when you're creating music? Like for example, for me, I'll put my microphone, I'll put my headset,
Yeah.
and I will listen to a few music on YouTube, and then maybe this is like one sentence just hits.
Yeah.
I'm just like, oh, 1 second, and then I'm gonna play it loop. Like, I like that, and then boom, then you're gonna start. Then I'm going to start to sing on that instrumental on YouTube.
Mm-hmm.
You know, but I can have people around me or like no one around me, but most importantly is I have to put myself in the vibe where just like focusing between me and the music, you know. So for you, how do you put yourself into the vibe then? Like you with
To
your
the vibe,
clients?
yeah, it definitely depends like on the environment for sure. I probably make my best stuff when I'm alone. Right?
When you're alone.
Yeah, when it's nobody else in the room and I'm just able to punch myself in, record, and do my stuff. Right, but I haven't recorded in a long time. After I did that project, it just never hit the same.
Why?
I've tried to record here and there, but it just
Why?
doesn't hit the same. Because
Disappointed or what?
sorry,
Disappointed or something? Or
not so much
Something
disappointment.
changed,
It's just I can perform at my best when there is a goal.
okay.
And so the
Oh.
goal back then was I need to make a 12-track album to show them that they have no excuse. And now there is no point. I don't have a reason. So now I'm just kind of throwing stuff on the wall and seeing what sticks. But then it's also like it just brings me to a question that's like, I'm not a recording artist. That's not my passion. You know what I'm saying? I like to do it here and there for fun, but it's really not my passion. My passion is music production. And so when I was recording, the beats were fire, but it definitely took away from the potential of the beats. And so I realized, okay, like I'm gonna have to stop recording if I want my productions to be even better. The time that I
Oh, I
put
see.
into recording has to be put back into the production
Yeah. Yeah.
to be even better. So when it comes to production wise, I think a lot of people get caught in like a little cage of what they're allowed to do. They make rules inside their own head of what they're allowed to make. But I realized like you got to get out of that cage because infinite inspiration comes to you when everything is possible, not just a couple things are possible in your head.
Mhm.
If you sit down and you're like, holy fuck, I have every tool in the world. I can do any sound I want and I have the ability to do it right.
Yeah.
Endless ideas can come, you know? And some people are like, no, I only make Detroit beats. I only make Travis Scott type beats, this and that. It's like, okay, you're putting yourself in a cage. You're going to burn yourself out at some point.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You have to open the floodgates for everything to come in.
So you can you create a beat when you're like, let's say this is not a good day for you, okay? Let's say just like, fuck everything. I don't know, maybe you blow tired or whatever. And then you came to the studio and then you start to, like, you want to start to create something. How do you manage that? Like, what is your process to get into the mood to create the beat?
The mood to create a beat. There is no mood. You got to make the fucking beat whether you want to or not. You know? If you're tired, somebody else is tired but they're still making beats. You know? Are you going to let an emotion stop you from achieving something? You know what I'm saying? A lot of people get lazy because they don't realize, like, if you're lazy, you're costing yourself everything. Nobody else is losing. You're the only one losing when you stop. You know what I'm saying? If you're not putting in the work, nobody gives a fuck. Nobody cares. Nobody's going to call you up and tell you to go to work, especially in the music business when you don't have a boss. Nobody's going to tell you what to do. And so if you're lazy, there's somebody cranking out 3 beats every hour. Yeah. And they're off of 2 hours of sleep.
So are you thinking about like competition then to create the beats?
It's not so much competition. It's just like I like to discipline myself. I heard this thing from, I think it was it was Pharrell. I think he said like you're not gonna make hits every time you sit down. You're going to make ass most of the time, but you have to get the ass out of the way to then get to it. So it's like, sure, sometimes you'll sit down and the first beat you make is incredible. You are going to have those days, but most days you're not going to. But you can't let that kill your what's it called, bro?
Momentum?
Your grind, your momentum, right? You sit down and you get disappointed off the first beat you make and you stop, right? No, you have to keep going. 3 beats, like sometimes I sit down, I go through 3 beats and the 4th one is like, okay, boom, we got it.
Do you feel it, or it's mostly other people telling you, oh, this is fucking fire?
No, bro. A lot of the times I make something, I'm like, this is crazy, and someone's like, I don't fuck with this. But it's in yourself to understand.
Same thing. Yeah, same thing.
I don't care what you think. To me, this is insane. You know what I'm saying? I've spent enough time making music where I'm very like confident when something is fire or not. You know, because it's like it's art at the end of the day. Not everybody's gonna like it. You know what I'm saying? But there's sometimes I make beats where I don't even like it, but somebody does like it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? There's been multiple moments like that.
Yeah, there's public for everything.
Yeah, and so it's like, dude, I had to wake up at like 6:30 in the morning to go to work and then come back to the studio to do like 3 sessions. You know what I'm saying? I want to go home and sleep.
Yeah.
But I'm here doing the podcast right now. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Nobody cares, bro. Nobody cares.
They don't care,
it's
like if you slept or not, or
nobody cares. It's up to me. I'm gonna come in, and it's like I also like the game of let's see how tired I can be. Let's see how it's like how far can I push myself?
Yeah.
How tired can I be? Let's see if I can make a beat like this. I'll be falling asleep at the keyboard, bro.
No, it happens so many times for me. Like I'm just sleeping here whole night. I wake up like 6 a.m. and just like, oh shit.
Yeah, dude.
I swear.
Yeah, man.
Many times.
Many times, bro. And so I'll be falling asleep on the keyboard. But it's like, dude, I gotta get this fucking beat done, dude.
Yeah.
Fuck it, doesn't matter, man.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter. And a lot of people don't want to do that. And it's like, okay, sure, but it's to your detriment. Nobody else cares.
True.
You know?
How do you treat customer? Like, let's say you have a client come in and then you're thinking like, okay, this guy is not that good. How do you treat him?
Depends, because some people want to come in and they just want to put down their lines and get out. You know, some people want to put their lines down, but they also like that extra brain giving them ideas and stuff. So if I'm getting the vibe where they really don't care about my input, let's run and get you out of here. You know, but if
You
they're asking for
record-
my input,
Yeah.
I'll tell you straight like how I feel, what I would do. I'll
Oh, so
do
you
it.
won't give your input until they ask you?
Yeah.
Okay, you won't just say like, hey, you should do
Sometimes, if I really think it's a good idea,
this. Yeah.
I'll put it in. But most
Okay.
times, if the energy is really like, this dude just needs to record, it's just like, how much energy am I willing to expend on this?
True.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Some people are just not good.
Mhm.
It doesn't matter what you tell them. It doesn't matter what feedback you give them. It's just not going to be good.
How do you deal with people they having attitude? You know, a lot of artists they think they shit. There's the next Travis Scott.
I don't really
And
get that.
Yeah,
I haven't gotten somebody with attitude. If they have attitude, I probably wouldn't even have them in the studio.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? I don't care how much you're gonna pay me.
Mhm.
This is my studio.
Yeah.
You don't got to be here.
Yeah.
You know what
True.
I'm saying?
Yeah.
I'll get another client. It doesn't matter.
Yeah. Yeah. True.
So it's like I don't.
You only work with the artists that you want to work with.
Yeah, there's here and there's some people that I have. Sorry, some people that I have. You know, got to pay the bills. But but for the most part, like if there's even an ounce of disrespect, it's like I don't need this. I don't need this at all. Right? I believe the money is gonna come whether I want it to or not.
Well, this is very spiritual. That's coming back to the religious part.
Yeah.
For the Muslim, we call it and for the Jewish, my father is Jewish.
Yeah.
My mom is Muslim.
Okay.
But it's pretty much the same. Like we call that the maktub, which is the everything is written down already. Like your story is already written.
Your story is already written. Yeah.
Yeah. So you're just a tool.
Yeah.
From God.
Yeah. You're just kind of like a physical body for the soul that's inside.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You put it like very really well. So, how do you think God is transferring to your field?
So that's a complicated one, bro. I used to have like a lot of conflictions with what I was doing because the music, especially hip hop, is very like glorifying of like bad stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Right? You hear it in
Like
the music, it's
drugs
obvious, right?
And girls.
Yeah, there's no argument against
sex
it.
and-
Yeah. And so I would call myself a Christian, but in reality, I feel like I have very different beliefs. I have very different belief systems in my head. But at the end of the day, I am a Christian. You know what I'm saying? But I wouldn't think I would think like a traditional Christian. You know, everything is very biblical, and of course, right, it makes sense. But I believe in, first of all, that God is love, right? God is an emotion. God is infinite love. You can fuck up his number many times as you want. He is a father that loves you no matter what. He wants only the best for you.
So God is not here to punish you.
No. God's not here to punish you. He will give you hard situations because he has to simplify it the most, he is literally like a dad. Your dad will put you in terrible situations for you to learn your lesson, right? But he's always there to make sure nothing too bad happens to you. He's literally a father, right? Like a father to his children. The thing that hit me was when a pastor was talking about Genesis when God called out to Adam and Eve, right? When he bit the apple and they were hidden and they realized that they were naked and ashamed.
Yeah.
He said that I never thought about this, but he said that when he called out to Adam and Eve, it wasn't a godly Adam, Eve, you know what I'm saying? It wasn't a godly thing. It was as if a father calling out to their missing children.
Mm-hmm.
It's a father who doesn't know where his children are, and he is scared and worried about them because this is his creation, right? I believe life is a self-recurring pattern Everything in life reflects itself, right? We are the same thing going on over and over again. And so God created us to create.
Do you believe in reincarnation as well?
I don't know. I don't know.
But
I
what
don't
do you
know.
believe?
I don't know, because the Bible tells me that there is an afterlife, right? You either go to heaven or you go to hell. But I don't know, because if there is a loving God, I would like to believe that you get other chances, right? Because a reincarnation is the idea that you live, die, you live again until you get it right, then you go to the afterlife, and that makes a lot of sense to me, right? You don't go to hell. You don't get one chance at life and then go to hell if you get it wrong, right? You get multiple chances. You did this life terribly, go again until you get it right. Go again, go again, go again, until you get to life 7, let's say. You've lived all these lives. You have this spiritual wisdom now. And now you're kind of this character who has all these previous lives embedded in them into their soul. Because I think your body changes, but your soul stays the same. I don't think there's an infinite amount of souls. I think there is a coordinated amount of souls that get transferred here and there. And so if I were to believe in reincarnation, that's the system that I would believe.
Okay.
It was, you live your life, you do the best you can, you die. If God is like, no, you did a terrible job, go again until you get it right. And then everybody gets to go to heaven. And so that's like a fairy tale, like great, perfect, right? But the Bible states that there is hell. So it's like, do you know, maybe it is brutal like that. Maybe you do get one chance, you know, and that also makes sense to me because everybody knows about Jesus. You know, there's not one person on earth that doesn't know about Jesus.
Yes, sir.
And so you get your chance. You don't take it, I'm sorry. You know what I'm saying? I'm sorry.
What was the turning point for you? Like when you say, hey, you know what? I'm going to follow this path of Jesus.
It was with my first girlfriend, and her parents were very religious. And at that time, I was not religious at all. And I would have like debates with her father, and her father was this. I looked up to her father because her father was this incredibly intelligent man that knew finances like nobody else, right? They had a lot of money. They were very set off, but at the same time, they were extremely religious. And so when those things came together, it was like, hold on. You have extremely wealthy people that are based in religious and morals. And so when he kind of connected those two things, it was like, this is like a different person. This is a different type of human being. Like, I'd never understood this. And so it was like, okay, so it's still possible to be comfortable financially and be religious. And we would debate and stuff, and he would give me all sorts of ideas, and I would give him very hard subjects to argue about, right? I wasn't playing around. Right? I did my research. I did my shit. I was not playing around with him. I was giving him everything I got.
Oh, it's like before when you were in school, like you really wanted to, you're good in debate.
Yeah.
Basically, like you can.
Yeah. I'm a good talker.
Okay.
I can talk. I can convert my ideas very clearly to people. Right? For them, very easy to understand these ideas. And so I wasn't an easy challenge for him, right? But he wasn't easy either. He was very good at what he did, you know? And so it kind of came to the point where it was just like, dude, I just had to rethink. I had to rethink my life, and I had to rethink like, okay, like the universe is infinite. Like I'm kind of stupid to think there's nothing else. This is it. That's kind of stupid for me to think that, you know what I'm saying? And I don't want to be stupid.
What would you like to see in the music industry? What would you like to see in Vancouver, especially? Would you like to see something different for all the artists and producers?
I want to see more community. Because I think ego is a hell of a thing, especially here in Vancouver. There's a lot of people who have like crazy egos, and so they don't want to connect with anybody else because they think like, I have to keep my music separate. I don't want anybody to touch this. And reasonably enough, you know, that's very fair. But there still has to be a sense of community, because I learned that lesson. It's much harder to do things by yourself. It's much easier to have a team around you.
But at the same time, you like to work by yourself.
Yeah. But when it comes to other things like business, you know what I'm saying? I'm only one person. I can only do so much. But when I have 3 other motherfuckers who are cracked, who are crazy, just as crazy as me, dude, you need 4 dudes to take over the world. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You don't need an army of people. You need 4 smart ass motherfuckers. 3 even. You know what I'm saying? that are disciplined, right? These things are very important as a man. You need to be disciplined. You need to be extremely confident in your decision making. You can't make decisions like, oh, do I do this?
Like
Oh, fuck it, I'll do
undecisive.
that. Fuck it. No, the universe will fuck you if you do that because you're not confident. You know what I'm saying? The universe wants you to be confident. It wants you to be a leader, especially as a man. You know what I'm saying?
But what is a man for you then? Can you give me a definition of a man?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, dude, we're getting into like controversial stuff here, but it gets very political. But I think it's not something you can argue. I think a lot of people that go to school and stuff, like colleges and stuff, like every school here in Canada is liberal, and so they have like a very clear agenda, whether you like to believe it or not. You know, they have a very. It's not even the teachers themselves, but it's the educational board that wants you to teach this. So you have everybody going to college learning a certain system, and I was a victim of that too, bro. I used to be very liberal. I'm very conservative now, but I don't believe it's the same conservative that was 10 years ago. I believe I still am liberal in a sense, but conservative have become liberal, and liberal has become liberal extremist.
You sound like change?
Yeah.
Change through times?
Yeah, I think the definition of these things have completely changed. Right? Liberals used to be very anti-war, but now liberals are the ones pushing war.
Right.
You know, wars in Ukraine, wars in Iran, oil, all these things. They're the ones that are actually pushing for this shit. And I did my research, you know what I'm saying? And so it's just like, again, 10 years ago, sure, I was liberal, but I guess now I'm not anymore. I don't know. I don't make the rules, you know? And I find that the Conservative Party, especially with Trump in office, like, there's peace treaties going around the world now that he's not even in office yet, and they want to talk about peace and stuff in Israel and in Ukraine. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, it's one of those things. But to be a man, you have to be confident. You have
not to be a man. I mean, what is a definition of a man for you?
Definition of a man. The opposite gender. That's as clear as I can put it to you. You know what I'm saying?
So that means, if you're saying that means there's two gender?
There's two genders.
You're
And
not three, or
we live in a crazy
or
world.
cats, or-
I don't want to offend you. I don't know what you believe. I don't know what your values are. But to me, bro, how can I not say there's two genders? You know what I'm saying? What do you think?
But for me, there's two fucking gender. There's girl and there's a man. Like there's
Look around.
You know, for
Look
me,
around.
there's
no
it's
third
not
gender.
even a question.
There's no third gender. What are we talking about? You know what I'm saying? It's just, I don't even know, dude. I don't even know how to get into that, because it's just like, just look around. There's people with long hair and tits. There's people with short hair and a dick. What's the argument we're making here? You know what I'm saying? To reproduce, you need the dick and the tits. What else?
Yeah. I mean, I agree.
You know what I'm saying?
But I'm just trying to understand.
Yeah.
You know, what could be like a man for you? Like, for example,
biologically, yeah. It's that. It's that. You need two people to reproduce.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? There's two sexual organs. Mm-hmm. You can't have two of the same sexual organs. It's not going to create anybody. Mm-hmm. Right? The big thing is that humans are able to procreate, but you need both sides of the team.
Yeah. Do you think like men and women, we have different roles?
Of course. We would all be dead if men weren't hunting. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. We would all be dead if women weren't procreating. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Look at any building here in New West. 100% 99 of them were men building it. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Go to a hospital. You're just going to see 99% women. Mm-hmm. I don't make the rules.
Yeah.
Go outside. Go touch grass. Mm-hmm. Look at these things. It's just like the world is telling you what the rules are. You know what I'm saying? I'm just a victim of the rules. Mm-hmm. Don't kill the messenger. You know what I'm saying? I didn't make these things up. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. It's just the way it is. It's the way.
So what is a woman for you then? So basically what you're saying is like the man is a hunter, maybe a provider.
The world made it that way, I guess. Mm-hmm. You know?
But what do you think? Like maybe the world made it a certain way, but maybe you're thinking differently.
No, I look at history, and history tells you everything it needs to tell you. Men have a greater bone density, much more muscle mass, so you need to be able to run kilometers to chase a deer to feed your family. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? You have to adapt to be able to do things, and so humans adapted by growing more muscle, becoming stronger, increased testosterone, so you'd be able to run these distances, to throw these things, to kill these animals. to feed the procreation that your female companion made to continue the bloodline, right? Women are beautiful creatures, man. Gorgeous, gorgeous, like the most artistic piece of what God made, bro. Is what I believe. You know, and I hate this agenda that women have to go work and do all this gnarly shit that men are supposed to do, and it's just like, again, you have freedom of choice. You go do whatever you want. But I don't want women to feel pressured to do these things. You know what I'm saying? And I think the world is
You feel
pushing
like they
that a
feel
lot.
obligated, or
Yeah,
they feel
I feel
pressured
like
to do?
I feel
or-
like women get shamed if they just want to stay home. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I feel like if a woman goes like, yo, like I low-key just want to chill and raise my kids, be there all the time for my kids while the husband goes to do the job. I feel like women literally get like bullied. Like, what the fuck? You're not a feminist. You're doing this. You're part of the patriarchy. It's like, no, bro. Like, it's just, people are allowed to do what they want. I think this is the most comfortable role with people. It's always been this way until 20 years ago, right? These ideas are not old ideas. They're extremely new ideas. Somebody just started thinking about this horse shit. You know what I'm saying? But traditionally, it's been the same way for hundreds and hundreds of years. So who are we to say now?
But do you see that? Do you see it as evolution? If the girl, she wanna, she wanna hold her, like she wanna show her tits and go to work.
It's
and,
evolution of your environment. Your environment changes, and it doesn't mean it changes for the better. It could be changed for the worse.
Yeah.
Right. There's both
Could be
things.
a devolution.
Our healthcare is much better. You know what I'm saying? But freedom is a double-sided sword. Freedom will destroy you if you don't have discipline. Freedom will give you everything if you have discipline. Right? And so, yeah, I mean, if you're a girl and you want to do an OnlyFans, go at it. The world is free. The world is yours. Doesn't mean it's a good thing. You know what I'm saying? Doesn't mean it's good.
Yeah.
But you are free to do what you want. You have your life. You know what I'm saying? That's the beauty of it. You are allowed to make mistakes. Right? We're not in another country where you have to cover yourself up. You have to do this and that. You can do it if you want to.
Right.
But you also don't.
Yeah. Yeah.
There's good and bad, and that's the beauty. You can't have freedom without good and bad.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You can't have freedom of speech without people saying Nazi shit and people saying good shit. That's the beauty of freedom of speech.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Love him.
Yeah.
That was great to have you. How long we did?
I don't know.
Fuck, man, we did like a good 45 minutes, huh?
Awesome, man. Didn't
A
feel
good
like 45 minutes.
minutes, huh? Sorry?
Didn't feel like 45 minutes, man.
I know. It looks like for me that was like 20 or like 15,
Dude.
20 minutes.
Man, have me back whenever you want, man. I love this shit.
See, like quickly, like we're going like pretty deep, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I mean, dude, I love to have conversations like this, bro. I think these are the most, I think conversations are priceless. You know what I'm saying? That's why I wanted to do my own podcast, because even if they don't come out, just having that recording, bro, that means everything more than money.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Real human connection, bro. If you're a rich person and you die and nobody's at your funeral, bro, you didn't accomplish anything.
True.
You know what I'm saying?
True. That's so
You could
true.
be the poorest motherfucker, but if you got 20 people around you when you're dying, bro, like you've made an impact.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
What would be the impact that would you like to see? Like, let's say we think about love them.
Love 'em.
What would be the biggest impact?
Love. You know? Love them. Love everybody. That's the name. You know what I'm saying?
You think this is the best medication ever that human
The
beings?
only medication.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's love, dude. If you want to be, again, super biased, if you want to be like Jesus, you have to be able to love without judgment. You know what I'm saying? Anybody with all their flaws, you have to be able to say, like, I love you, bro. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't matter what you do. I love you at the end of the day. You know what I'm saying? I just want to see people. I want to see people on the track that they're supposed to be. I want to see people in the best version of themselves. You know what I'm saying? You see crackheads down here in the street. These people had incredible goals written out for them. You know, exactly what you're saying about your story already being written. These people had incredible things, right? Like, sorry, I don't want to keep you here longer. But to give you an idea of where I'm coming from, if your story is written out, that means everybody has a purpose. When I was atheist, I didn't agree with that. I didn't think anybody had a purpose. I think everything was just chance, and we're living in some sort of fuckery of genetics and chance, right? But that's a meaningless life because there is no meaning behind that. And I found it much more beautiful when I fell in love with art. I realized the world is art, life is art, and art has a purpose. And so for you to be here on planet Earth, you have to have a purpose. And so it makes me incredibly sad when I see like people struggling with drugs and mental health on the streets. It shows me that you had an incredible goal, whatever it was in your life, but drugs have led you to a point where you're deteriorating now. Mm-hmm. And you are not capable of achieving that thing that you were supposed to achieve, right? Because we have free will. Freedom doesn't exist without free will. Again, you know what I'm saying? And so again, you're a human being and you're supposed to do these things, but you could very well fall into drugs, addiction, mental health, and that will guide you completely off the path.
And why do you think people are doing this? Why do you think people are using drugs?
Because human beings are not great teachers. and throughout history, we teach some fucking nonsense. And especially parents, if you're not a good parent, your kids are gonna come out fucked up. And so a lot of people have.
What is a bad parent then?
A bad parent is somebody who demoralizes your goals, who has a plan for them. You know what I'm saying? Some parents have a story written out for their kids, but that's not God's story. That's your own horseshit human story that you created for them. And again, human beings are completely different. You know, your child could come out completely different than you. Everybody has their own thing. And so you can't put your own ideas on somebody. So you can't guide people.
They're projecting their own fears.
Yeah. And that's just one thing. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Some people are just shit parents. Some people don't care about their kids. Mm-hmm. Some people kill a little bit about their parents, or about their kids, sorry. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Some parents are wrapped into drugs and don't have time to care about their kids. That's why you have crime, because you have neglection of parental duties. You know what I'm saying? Crime is caused by poverty, and poverty is caused by miseducation. When people are not educated, they don't know what to do to gain money. And when you don't know what to gain money, and you don't know how your brain works and how to control your emotions, you lash out and you start doing stupid shit.
When you say like poverty, like crime is because of poverty, but you have like also like rich people, they're committing crime too.
But these are more sophisticated crimes because you have to be an educated person to achieve those crimes, right? I think those are different. Like there's petty crime like breaking and entering. You don't have to be smart. You have to break a fucking door to get to the cash. But when it comes to rich people creating like tax evasion, doing all these things, offshore accounts, like that takes much more thought. That's just ego and greediness. You're right. Bad things are caused by shit in us. You know what I'm saying? We are the visualizers of our world. Everything you see here is because you thought, oh shit, I need LEDs on my roof, and now there's LEDs on your roof. You know what I'm saying? And so it's like whatever you see in your world is a projection of your mind.
Right.
When I see somebody struggling, I think, what did I do wrong? How did I create this?
What is your vision then?
Again, my vision is for everybody to be their best self. You know what I'm saying? To be mentally as healthy as they can be, to be achieving what they want to do. You know what I'm saying? To be doing what makes them happy.
You want the best for...
I want the best for everybody. I want people to do what they love to do. A lot of people are not doing... Some people are Bro, when you had that dude and he's doing all this bullshit on your table, that's not a happy person. That person is not... That he's not happy with his life. If that's what you're doing, if you need drugs from Bolivia, you're not happy. Doesn't matter how much money you have. There's clearly a very, very deep hole that you're trying to cover up with strippers in a studio lobby. You know what I'm saying? You need a big Band-Aid. You know what I'm saying? And some people have to go to the lowest point to realize that they are nothing, because ego is a hell of a motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? You have to understand that you